Yay! Oh my gosh, this is the first time that I am going live over here on YouTube, and I'm just about to go live on Instagram too. But today is all about the very first version of scalp class. So I have a whole schedule that I want to follow. Um, I'm excited. So let me just press live over here so we can get started and officially introduce myself and all of that, and kind of like what to expect from this series, which I'm literally so excited about. So let me do that now. It's just about to be 6 o'clock. Let's see. I'm so excited to be here, and I can't wait to just kind of, let's see. Ooh, perfect. Okay, let me get started. Ready? Hello and welcome. My name is Senia, your certified trichologist and loss practitioner. And today is number one class that we are having all about my new series, which is scalp class. I have a whole plan for every Tuesday and Thursday to bring you just a little bit more about hair care, but not just that, like your actual scalp, what's going on. If you're seeing a lot of hair on your hairbrush, if it's coming out and you literally are seeing hair everywhere, if you see it on your brush, like there is a bigger reason why you are losing hair. And today we're going to break down a little bit about that. We're going to break down what you should be doing, not ignoring, things like that. But first things first, if you are here live, please introduce yourself. Make sure that you say hi, how are you, all of that. If you are watching the replay, make sure that you comment replay. But we're going to get started right away because I want to make sure that you just I want to make sure that you get the most out of it, and I don't want to make this something that's super long. I want this to be right to the point. So let's get started with the very first thing, which is hair loss is not random. Hair loss is not just, oh, I have stress, I'm losing hair. That's not how it works. It's not bad luck. It's not your shampoo. It's honestly your body's way of telling you that something is not okay. And I'm going to repeat that, okay? Your shampoo is not causing your hair loss. Stress can have a factor, which we'll talk about in a moment, but it's not bad luck. It can be genetics, which again, all of this I'm going through, but it is something that your body is telling you, okay? There's something deeper happening. So, with that being said, let me give you an example and then we'll go like the step by step. So think about, I'm a plant mom, by the way. Some of these are fake, some of these are real. I'm not telling you which is which. But think about your hair like your garden, okay? If your soil is rich, if it's moist, if it's healthy, like if it has the nutrients it needs, your plants are going to grow. It just is what it is. But think about if your soil is dry and cracked and toxic and has no seeds, no nutrients, like is your plant actually going to grow? That is the obvious thing, obviously not. So your hair follicle is like that seed that is buried in that soil. So it's up to you if it's going to be healthy or not, right? So I need you to have that in mind and just really think about that when you are looking to see why your hair is falling. So let's talk a little bit more sciencey things, but I promise it's not going to be that nerdy, okay? I was trying to pull up the live here, but I'm not sure why it's not coming up. So with that being said, going back to the plant example, no farmer expects a good harvest if their soil is dry AF, if it is super cracked, if it's sick, like it's just not going to happen. And I'm going to give you the example of my little broccolis. I have a little, like, super small little wannabe farm. Okay. It's not even a farm. Send me a DM and I will show you what it actually looks like. But there was one plant that was not growing. It was not growing. It's the same soil as everything. When we pulled it out, we found so many worms eating up the actual root of the plant. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I knew something was wrong. So, you again, going back to that example of the farmer, you need to figure out what is it that's going on, because if it's not growing, there's a reason. Or if your hair is falling, there's also a reason. So, let's talk about the main causes of hair loss. I know you know, but I'm going to make sure that we double down on the actual cause. And if at any point you feel like one of this is you, please reach out. I do have a link in the description, or just send me a DM on Instagram. I'm at Senya period Maritza, and send me a DM. I will be able to help you with a questionnaire. So the main causes of hair loss, number one, it's internal. Okay, hormonal changes. If you just changed your birth control, that can be a cause. Postpartum, menopause, thyroid issues, all of this is internal. Another one is stress. Stop. Stress. Listen, in 2022, I was like super high stress, and this is an actual type of hair loss. It's called telogen effluvium. And when I tell you, my hair was right here, 2022. Crazy. I didn't even know I had a problem up until I was literally losing all my hair. So, if you just hopped on, we're talking about the main causes of hair loss. And that's hormonal, postpartum, menopause, thyroid, all of these things. Stress, which I just talked about, low iron. If you have anemia, you may be having hair loss. Okay. Certain different types of medications. I know so many of my old clients, back when I was a personal trainer, we talked a lot about like the side effects of the medication of high blood pressure and diabetes and all of this stuff. Like that does cause. And there's so many medicine out there that is causing that. Because the inside of your body, like if your hormones are off, if your nutrients are off, your hair is the first thing to show it. Like this is not essential to live. Obviously, we want to look pretty, we want to look feminine, but it's not essential. And your hair falling is going to be the main thing. Okay. Number two, damage and breakage. And this is more of the external. So if you're heat styling all the time and you're not protecting your hair, if you're constantly processing your hair, if you're not using some type of bond repair, bleaching, really tight hairstyles like buns, oh my gosh. When I see somebody with a super high tight bun or a ponytail and it's like an always type of thing, there is a type of hair loss called traction alopecia. And oh my gosh, this is going to cause you hair loss. So please use maybe different types of hairstyles. If one day you do one part, maybe on the other side, you can do it the next one. Maybe you can do it in the middle. That way you can change it up if you do have to have tight hairstyles. Rough brushing, aggressive, your towel doing this, that is also a part of your external cause of your hair loss. So, number 3, scalp health problems. Okay. Now, before I get into this, I want to make sure and preface, I am not a doctor. I am only telling you what I have learned from my trichology class. I am only sharing everything that I learned, and it's all right here, all my notes, all the research that I have made and read through. So if you feel like you need an actual diagnosis, please reach out to your doctor or your dermatologist, somebody that is a medical professional. I can still help you with the best type of solutions when it comes to hair loss, but I'm not diagnosing anything. Okay. So if you just hopped on, we're talking about the main causes of hair loss. We talked about internal, external. Now we're going into scalp health problems. Something like, hey, listen, I don't know how to say this. Seborrheic dermatitis. Oh my gosh, don't hate me. I know what it is though. So basically, it's like this flaky yellow cap on your scalp. And the difference is the fact that it is flaky, right? So dermatitis, obviously on the skin, it's itchy. This is something that can cause hair loss because it's clogging your hair follicles. Okay. Psoriasis, 100% can also cause hair loss. Dandruff, buildup from your products, inflammation around your follicles. If you're running and just not washing your hair and you know you're super oily, all of this happens because your scalp is inflamed. It's clogged, infected. Like your hair follicles cannot thrive if there is so much stuff on there. Now, going back really quick to those damage and breakage and all of that, physical trauma to the actual hair shaft can snap off your hair and continue to be weaker and weaker and weaker until you literally have no more hair there. I don't know if you remember, I was in high school. I used to do this like back gel thing. I don't know. Please don't ever bring that back. And I do believe that that was a lot of the cause from my weaker hairline. I already have a weak hairline, so that just made it, in my opinion, so much worse. Number 4 is lifestyle causes, nutritional causes. And if your diet is poor, if you're not eating enough protein, if you're crash dieting, if you're on Ozempic, which, listen, I'm not against Ozempic, do what you need to do. But that can cause hair loss if you're not getting your nutrition. Okay. Dehydration, not drinking enough water, gut problems, leaky gut. What you eat and how you nourish your body, obviously, it helps you, helps your muscles, it helps your joints, but it's also going to show up eventually. Maybe not right now, but in 3 months, it is going to show what you have and haven't consumed. Okay. So, here are a few red flags to watch out if you do feel like you are if that's causing your hair loss. Thinning. Thinning right here. Okay. This, as women, is the first one to go. For guys, it's like right here, but like in the middle for us, our hairline. And listen, one more thing, we should change up our hair. Okay. If you're doing the same thing over and over, this right here, like I said, this part is going to be the first part to go as women, especially if you are truly having that hair loss. Okay. So, yes, 100 hairs, if they come out, that's completely normal. In the next class, we're going to talk about the actual like anatomy of the scalp, but it's okay to shed hair. Like if I do this, I'm having, a few hairs come out. And that's completely fine. There you go. That's completely okay. Now, tenderness, pain, all of that, that is a red flag. Persistent flaking, irritation. If you haven't washed your hair and you're like a little bit itchy, like, yeah, you probably just need to wash your head and that's it. But consistently itching, consistently flaky, you just see it and you just washed and you're already oily. If you're noticing these, don't wait. Like you need to make a change now. You need to start exfoliating your scalp. All of these things, like you need to do it ASAP. So, what can you start doing now if you feel like you are having a little bit of hair loss? If you see the signs, you need to be gentle with your scalp and hair. Okay, so I have a little brush to explain. We are not brushing our hair from here. Okay, we're gonna go, oh my gosh, cringing just doing that. We're gonna go from the bottom and go up. Obviously, I just brushed my hair, but we're going from the bottom up when we brush. Okay, we're not being super harsh with our scalp and our hair because, especially if you have a weaker, hair shaft, that's how it breaks off and that's how it's never going to grow. Now, another thing that you're going to do is regular scalp massages. That means like this. You don't need the rubber one. If you have it, cool. You don't need to go out of your way. You can literally use your fingertips, making sure that they're clean, but do this often, every morning or at nighttime before you go to bed. Bonus tip, if you do have some sort of scalp serum, put it in there every night. And then as you do that, go ahead and massage it. Using a clean Like I said, clean. Make sure that you don't have little nasties under your nail. Make sure that they're clean. Diet. You need to clean up your diet. I know this is not a health class, but you do need to clean it up, because how do you expect to ever feel good internally? And whatever it is that you feel inside is how your hair is going to look or not look. So, more iron, more protein, hydration. Like, if you need to take supplements, then take the supplements. I personally think that you can get a supplement plus clean up your diet, AKA maybe you need a trainer. Maybe you need to look out for somebody that you trust, or go to a gym, someone's going to focus on your actual nutrition, but we need to clean up our diet, okay? And last but definitely not least is protecting your hair. You may need to reverse your damage too. So perhaps you need a whole regimen that's just focused on bond repair. I know you want to grow your hair, but perhaps you need to just focus on your scalp. Maybe it has a lot of buildup. You need to just cleanse that, exfoliate it, go on a treatment, go for 3 months and just focus on your scalp. Maybe we're not going to focus on coloring our hair right now, because if you stay consistent, yes, it can help, but it's going to take months for you to see changes. You're not just going to have, if you're right here, you're not going to have hair right here by the summer. It's just not going to happen. It literally scientifically cannot happen. Okay. So if you feel like your hair is falling out, if you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm using the shampoo, my hair's falling out. Yes, it can be your genetics. Like, it really can. I know people say that it's not, it really can be your genetics. I can see it in my family, how my family, a lot of us have the weaker hairline, but that doesn't mean that you can't pay attention to your body. And the good news is that we have the power to change that. Okay, just to get a little better, eat a little better, drink a little bit more water, more nutrition. And that way we can start loving our hair again. So listen, I know this was a little intro, may or may not be basic for you, but today was why is your hair falling? On Thursday, here's our little calendar. And depending on the questions that come in, we'll add a few more at the end of the month. But on Thursday, we're going to talk about the science of scalp health, if you are a science nerd or you want to learn a little bit more. But we're also going to talk about scalp conditions, okay? Actual scalp conditions. And then next Tuesday, we're going to talk about how to build a healthy scalp routine around your needs, because not everyone's the same. Maybe your system is not the same as mine, and I'll share what I'm using, but it's not for everyone. You have to figure out what's good for you. That's why please feel free. I'll leave my link in my description or in the comments if you're on YouTube, and take the questionnaire. Take the questionnaire, make sure that you ask anything that you want to, just in case. And that's it for me. I cannot wait to do or see you on Thursday, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for being here for the very first scalp class, and I'll see you in part 2. Bye.